Hey everyone and welcome. We are Next Level Business Advisors and this is Business Stories of Success. If you want to break through and achieve your own business success by learning from other successful business owners, you're in the right channel. For more of our content, make sure you click subscribe and don't forget the bell icon so you're the first to be notified when new videos are added. Enjoy today's video.
Hello, hello, hello. You're with Marc Adams at Next Level Business Advisors, and we are on the road with Dr. Tanisha Richmond. Tanisha is a doctor of the foot and ankle. Her company is Richmond Foot and Ankle Clinic, and she's always on the go. So if you're watching this, you see her in her car. She pulled over just to talk to us. How you doing?
I am blessed and highly favored.
Awesome, awesome. Love to hear that. So you are in, can I say beautiful Dayton, Ohio? Is Dayton, Ohio beautiful?
Not right now. It's raining.
Oh, okay, okay. Hey, that's how
It's
it is. It seems like
beautiful,
that
but
all over.
yeah, but we're in the 60s, so that's really great for Ohio this time of
Oh
year.
my good. Yeah, yeah, we're in the 60s around here too. I think it all turns tomorrow for us, but anyway.
I think it's coming
Hopefully.
to us. We're getting it next. It's gonna hit us
Okay.
next.
All right. Well, hey, enjoy it while you can. I'm not mad at you for being outside. I wish I could sit outside and do this, but too much to do. Anyway, let's talk about you. This is Business Stories of Success, and we want to know about you and your success, especially as a doctor. So can you tell us a little bit about you and your practice?
Well, I went to medical school in Cleveland, Ohio, at Kent State Podiatry School. I came to Dayton, Ohio, did my residency. And then I started looking for a mentor, like my second year of residency. And I went to a health fair and I met someone from the Charles Drew Health Center. And they were like, oh, we need a podiatrist. Our last Black podiatrist died and we want another Black podiatrist. So I spent my third year residency working on my practice. So I graduated from residency in June 2008, opened my practice July 2008. So I've
Wow.
been in practice 13 years and now I have over 12,000 patients.
Wow. 12,000 patients. That's unbelievable. So now tell me a little bit about the structure of your business. 12,000 patients. I think I would lose my mind. What role do you play? What kind of staff do you work with in your practice?
Well, I have an office manager, I have a biller, I have three MAs, I have a front office person. It's 2.5 doctors. I have one other full-time doctor and then one doctor that's part-time.
Wow, that's beautiful. So you sound like you have a thriving practice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Let me ask you in case someone wants to find you and they are also in beautiful Dayton, Ohio. How can they reach you?
Well, my phone number is 937-228-3668. My website is richfeet.org.
Rich Feet. Like my feet are pricey. My feet are
Yes.
pricey.org. Awesome.
Yes.
How'd you come up with that name for a website, richfeet.org? I like it, by the way. How'd you come up with that?
My last name's Richmond. So I actually reached out. No, actually, when I first went to opened my practice, I put on Facebook that I needed help with my marketing. And my high school classmate was getting her MBA at Harvard. And she reached out to me and she took me on as a project with her class, her marketing class.
Oh,
And
that's cool.
they branded me and set up my website. They helped me do all the branding when I first opened.
Wow, that's awesome. So you had a lot of help when you got started just to get to where you are. No wonder you exploded onto the scene so quickly.
Yeah.
So now you had this choice and you made this choice, and I want to explore that if you don't mind a little bit, because we're talking about business stories of success. Even though someone said, hey, we need a Black doctor because we don't have as many, right? I imagine we don't have as many, so it would be good to get one. You still could have said, no, I want to work for someone else. What made you take the leap and say, I'm going to start my own practice? Was it just the invitation or what else?
No, my grandfather was an entrepreneur. He owned his own funeral home. So I grew up, around and in the funeral home, seeing him as a business owner. And now it's about to be fourth generation funeral home because now my father and my brother manage it. And my nephew has just decided to go to college in funeral directing. So it was in my blood. I never wanted to work for no one else, because seeing my grandpa over the years and just watching him own his own business, it never really occurred to me to work for anyone else.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And you know, it's nice when you have an example of someone who's done it or who's doing it. It really does. It sort of does feel like it's in the blood. I was the same way. My dad, he worked for somebody while I was young, and then he started his own business. And just seeing how you can control your own destiny was like, man,
Yeah.
I think that's something. And originally, I was not my plan. I was happy just being an employee, but it was just in the blood. And at some point, I said, I think I want to start my own thing. So that's really, really nice. And how did you decide? And this is an interesting question, I think, to get into podiatry then, since you have 3 generations of funeral home directing?
Well, I always wanted to be a doctor. Every year at Halloween, I was a doctor. My mother's a nurse. So I always would wear her lab coats and stethoscopes, and I always wanted to be a doctor. So I applied to MD when I first got out, MD medical school. I didn't get in, and I sat out actually 4 years. I taught school. I made heart valves and pig hearts in Atlanta. I was a bartender.
Wow.
And my mother, well, she came to me in a dream, and in the dream, she was fussing at me to reapply to medical school. And I woke up the next day. I said, Mom, I'm going to reapply. And she's like, have you ever thought of podiatry? And I was like, what is podiatry? A foot doctor.
Wow.
And she said, you know, of all the doctors that come to the hospital, the foot doctor is the only one that's happy.
Really?
Yeah. So I found 2 Black foot doctors in my area in Louisiana. I met with them both, shadowed them both. And the thing that really helped me decide on podiatry, because they both said I could dictate my life and the way I want to live, and control my life. So you know, it helped me to decide. And then I went to the same school they went to too as well. So it was actually my mother who introduced me to podiatry.
Wow. Wow. And thankful mama always knows best, right?
Yeah, mama know, mama know.
Mama know, I tell you. All right. So you've been in podiatry, you chose that field, and it's made you happy because podiatrists are happy people. It's funny, one of my best clients is a podiatrist in Jersey. And yeah, he's always happy. He's all now that you mention it, he's always like always laughing, always joking, always pleasant. It's amazing. He actually did one of my interviews one day. You might check him out, Dr. Wishney. He actually teaches other podiatrists.
Oh, I know Dr. Wishney.
You do?
Uh-huh. We in the same group, practice management.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's an amazing guy. I just love that guy. He's got that swag. So you know him.
Yeah.
You guys are all, is it a small world, a podiatry world? Or is it?
Yeah, our world is very small.
Nice.
It's not a whole, because I think it may be 9 schools now. So it's not a whole lot of podiatrists, and there's really not a whole lot of Black podiatrists.
That's what I would have guessed. It's not a lot of Black podiatrists. So it's nice to see one practicing and thriving. Let me ask you this question, since we're talking about thriving. How do you define success? What's your definition?
Being able to live your best life. I mean, I work with other colleagues, other ethnicities, and it seems like they're always on the money hunt. They're always on the money rush. And it's like, I feel like if I can shop when I want to shop, travel when I want to travel, you know, live the way I want to live, that's success. But I don't need to, you know, be making billions of dollars to be successful. I just need to be comfortable and be able to do whatever I want to do.
Okay. So I'm going to guess that you're successful in your eyes.
Yes. I'm comfortable. But then my grandfather owned a lot of property. So I also have a construction company as well. So all my extra funds are now going towards properties, because I have to build my retirement, because
Right.
as a self-employed person, I don't think I'll be able to live off Social Security if
No,
there is Social Security when I get
if
out.
there is, and boy, do you want, no, that's not the way to do it. Right. So, okay. So let's talk
Yeah.
about that success. You said you're successful. The question I really want to dive into is how have you made success a reality as you run your practice? What have you done to make yourself successful?
Well, I have my own radio show. I have a commercial running now in our local market. I do a lot of events, networking events, not as much since COVID.
Right.
I'm part of a group called Gym City Pharmaceutical Society, the only podiatrist in that group because it's all MDs, DOs, nurse practitioners, pharmacists. And actually, that's why I kind of exploded on the market because I ate out with them a whole year as a resident. So when I came out, they were waiting for me. They were desperate.
Wow.
So
Wow.
they have kept me fed. I'm in an urban area. You're gonna turn there. I'm at an urban part of Dayton. So I'm in an unmet need part of Dayton. And I see I see about 50% Medicaid, and the rest is the other insurances, Medicare, private insurance, things like that. But I think also my advantage is I'm a female and I'm from the South. So my whole mantra is different. And then also I'm a patient myself. I'm diabetic. I actually was diagnosed in medical school. I crashed and went to DKA my second semester of medical school. So I became a type 1. I figured out I was a type 1 when I was studying physiology. So my whole career, I've been a diabetic. So I have a very special, I guess, a compartment of my brain where I cannot forget anything that relates to diabetes. And it's changed the way I practice, the way I talk to my patients. We have very frank and direct conversations.
Okay.
They'll tell me I can't eat right. I'm like, no, yes, you can. Well, I can't find nothing good. I'm like, girl, bye. And see, at my office, I have a refrigerator, I have a freezer, I have a microwave. So I'll go into my stash and bring them something like a sugar-free drink. And they be like, oh, that's good. I'm like, yes, you can drink sugar-free, or I'll give a sugar-free candy or sugar-free chocolate. In the summer months, I have my sugar-free ice cream treats. And I'll give them one of those. And they're like, oh, okay, I can do that.
Nice.
But if my phone dies, we may have to regroup, but we'll see.
Okay. All right. Now, we better move faster. Let me ask you this question. What do you think is the single biggest quality needed to be a successful business owner?
Drive and belief in yourself. And you have to have an inner drive. It can't be from your family, your friends. You have to want it. And you have to be almost willing to die for it.
Okay. Awesome.
You can't stick your pinky toe in. You got to jump all the way.
not the pinky toe.
Not the pinky toe.
Harlem Night said, shot that pinky toe off. You gotta be careful. Not the pinky toe.
Yes, you gotta stick you gotta jump in. Ain't no sticking one toe in and it's too cold. No, you gotta go in head first.
Okay, that's right. If you want to be successful, you absolutely have to commit. I like that. So you mentioned that you had mentors and coaches. How have they contributed to your success?
You have to have someone in your corner. You have to have someone that's going through what you're going through and can relate to what you're going through. I had a colleague in school and he told me one statement, and to this day, I say it to other people. He said, on your worst day, you're in the top 1% of the population. On your worst day. And I tell, especially doctors, Black doctors, I said, remember that on your worst day, you in the top 1%. When you think you ain't nothing, you in the top 1.
Yeah. Wow.
And
that changes the mindset.
Yeah, because we, as doctors, entrepreneurs, we forget where we came. We forget the struggle sometimes. We forget, when your lights got turned off, you was about to file bankruptcy. When I failed the class in medical school, we forget that. But when someone tells you what you've been through, where when you can look back and say, oh Lord, I made it through that. I made it through 13 years of private practice and being a business owner without any business education. It's something to say,
Beautiful.
but but you have to have people around you that can remind you tastefully, girl, you all right. You're a soldier.
Yeah. And that's so true. Like a good mentor, a good, coach or whatever kind of keeps you up, lifts you up when you're down, right? Keeps you focused on the accomplishments of what you were able to do. And that actually spurs you on.
And you have to have someone on your level. Because like now, most of the people I talk to on a daily basis is all doctors. We're all female doctors. But I can't come to my medical assistant and complain to her about my employees. I have to call I call my friend that's a doctor, and then she gonna tell me her story. I'm like, no, I gotta tell you my story.
Right. Yeah.
But we have to have people. That's why like our friends and things change, because we're in a different place. The concerns that I have ain't the concern someone working at Arby's.
That's
because but it's not
Arby's
rude or nasty. But we have different concerns. We have different rules and regulations we got to follow to keep our license. See, they don't have a license, but we got a license and a business.
That's right. It's
like
true.
I can't get drunk because I worry about getting a DWI. I get a DWI, they'll take my license.
Right.
So so it's our lifestyles are different, and it's not to say it's better. It's just where we are. We talk about payroll, we talk about overhead, we talk about employees, taxes. Like she was like, girl, I need some write-offs. And I sat there and gave her enough write-offs, to help her write off her expenses and stuff. But I mean, she's only been practicing 4 years. I've been practicing 13. But over the years doing taxes and things like that, I've been able to learn, these are things you can do to write off things. And as a business owner, what you can write off, and keeping your receipts, keeping up your QuickBooks and stuff like that. So, I don't be talking about no Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. All we talk about is payrolls and tax credits.
Right. Those things that are, and that's true. You have to have that circle in order to really stay in the right mindset. I agree with you. Absolutely. Yeah, so is that a piece of advice that you would give to a new business owner? What's a good piece of advice you can give to a new business owner who's listening, or new practice, someone who opens up a new practice?
If you want to be a millionaire, you got to hang around millionaires. Don't hang around broke people, because you're going to stay broke.
Okay.
And you got to
learn. Say birds of a feather, right?
Yeah. Well, you have to be around people in the same mindset as you. Because when you talk about, oh, I made this a month, they looking at you crazy. And then they may be like, well, I made, this amount, or I made more or less, but they don't understand net and gross income either.
Oh yeah. Well, that's a nuance for a lot of business owners who don't get that kind of stuff, for sure. Yeah. So let me ask you this question. Because we're focusing a lot about the financial part. If you were to go right back to before you started your business, is that a piece of advice you would give yourself? Learn financials. What would be the advice that you would give yourself right before you started your business? If you could go back.
I get an MBA. I'm gonna walk in the building and get hooked up to my.
Hold on. Let me. All right. Dr. Richmond successfully exited the car, entered into her office, and is continuing the conversation about mentors and how they help us with the mindset. So if you want to continue and talk about how mentors have helped, that'd be awesome.
Well, mentors just keep you focused. They just keep you grounded, because they've been where you're at. And they just, it's kind of like fairy godmothers, I guess you could say.
Okay.
They're just there to support you wherever you're at, and either, slap you into reality or give you props or give you advice or just listen. unjudgmental listening. You know, a lot of people, when they listen to us talk about what we're going through, they're like, oh, she a doctor, she that, she that. But they don't listen and they don't understand what we're going through. You know, it's when you're a business owner, you may pay your employees and not pay yourself. But people don't understand, they can't understand that until you own a business.
See that. Right. They don't see it. That's right. They see the outside. They don't, like you said, there's gross and then there's net.
Yeah. I mean, like Bezos, they hate on Bezos. I hate when people hate on Bezos. I'm like, that dude started his garage. Mm-hmm. He started that business in his garage selling books, and now he's the richest man on earth. Leave him alone.
Mm-hmm. He paid his dues, huh?
Yeah, and I tell people he paid more taxes a year than probably some small countries. He paying. Matter of fact, he paying taxes right now.
That's right. That's right. That's true. Awesome. Let me ask you one other question. This is an interesting one. People, we like to ask this one because we learn from the mistakes of others. What is one mistake, large or small, that you made in your business journey?
Not knowing business, not taking business courses. I worked on my MBA in 2019, and I always wanted my MBA, and that's one of the best things I've ever done. It taught me about money and managing money and business, and profit is good. That's the first time I ever heard that. I always felt guilty making money. I felt guilty being a doctor until they told us you have to make money or you will close. You have to make profit. But no one ever told us that. They just, you know, you make money, then they're like, oh, you make this, you do this. But they always made us feel guilty for making that money. But once they broke it down, if you don't have profit, you can't pay yourself. You can't pay your employees, you know. But I think that was the best thing I ever did. And I would tell anyone that wants to go into business, you may not have to go as far as going to MBA, but you need to take some basic business courses like basic accounting, management, human resources. Even if you could do some little local things at the community college or even online, like the Fred Pryor seminars. I've done tons of those. And they keep you out of trouble, just like human resource stuff. I mean, now I have to train my friend. You can't ask that question.
Can someone bring the paperwork for Mr. Ralston up front?
Like, you can't ask if someone's pregnant. You can't ask if they have kids. But there's ways you can ask that without asking it directly. But it's things that, as a business owner, they don't teach us in medical school. We took a year of business. It was garbage.
Right. Well, they're teaching you to focus on the patient and keeping people alive or keeping people healthy.
Well, but most podiatrists are self-employed. Most of us own our own practices. I would say the last maybe 2 to 3 years, they've really started hiring podiatrists into groups and other things. But most podiatrists historically have always owned their own practices.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And you are one of those. That's cool.
Yes.
That's cool. When we were talking before this meeting, you were involved in real estate, you were involved in this, and you had something else going on.
Well, I was doing the t-shirts and the masks, the jewelry, but I've kind of put all that down. Well, I still sell the masks, but the rest I kind of put down. I've gotten busy again. We're picking back up, back to our original numbers. So.
Right. And I just wanted to throw that out there because it talks about how we pivot in our business to make sure that we are giving priority which properly do, right? So we can go a lot of different directions, but if our primary money maker is our practice, then that's the focus. I hear so many people talk about like the side hustle. And I always say, if your main hustle is really good, you probably don't need a side hustle. You build what you have, you build what makes you money. And then when you have that money, then you invest in other things. That's a smart way to build. So nice to hear that story. Hey, I told you when we started or before that I really wanted to get some Black doctors. I've interviewed a lot of doctors, but not a lot of Black doctors. It's just a pleasure to have you on to tell us your story, to hear your journey. And we look forward to continuing to see that journey to success. Thanks so much for giving me your time.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Have a good one.
Okay.